So I had an interesting moment when filming today in Montreal. First of all, very exciting news. I will briefly tell you about this before getting to the main topic. I bought a new camera. Look at this beautiful work of art. This is my new Minolta XL400. Minolta is a company that was later acquired by Sony, so this predates Sony. This was actually made in the mid-70s. And I learned all this today. I went to a local used camera shop, had a great conversation with Bobby. Shout out to Bobby from Phototech. I think it's called Phototech. I'll put the name down below because it's a really cool shop. Not sponsored or anything, but I like to support small businesses when they're doing good work. And this guy gave me he just taught me a lot about this type of camera. He taught me a lot about the film development process. And after a long conversation, I was like, I like this guy. The price is fairly reasonable. I mean, it's an investment, but it's nothing compared to the main camera I film with or anything. This is just a hobby. This is a toy for me to play around with and hopefully learn a little bit more about filmmaking. Anyway, I got my new toy. I was like a kid in a candy shop, and I immediately, he it came with a case, and he was putting it away from me. I was like, you don't even need to put it in the case. I'm immediately walking out and gonna start playing with this and learning all the settings and just filming stuff around Montreal, which is what I love to do. And I was in this mode of just being so excited with my camera, and the light was really good. It was the hour before sunset. So I was just filming a little bit in the park. I was filming the Mount Royal statue. I was filming just some streets and some signs and just everything. And as I was doing that, first of all, one guy in the park complimented my camera. I took a photo, thought it was really cool. So I was on cloud nine, I was pretty, for me, this was a good day. But then almost near the end of my filming, as I was walking home, I was just on one side of the street, and I was filming because the light was really nice. And I liked the two buildings on both sides. And as I was doing that, I hear a voice. I hear a voice say, "Oh no, don't be doing that. Don't be filming people without their consent." And again, I'm like this, so I wasn't even really it took me a moment to realize someone had said it. And then when I heard it, I looked, and there was a woman about my age, young woman biking past, who had obviously just said that to me. And she was gone. I didn't have a chance to reply. I don't know if I would have replied. If she had stopped, I certainly would have been open to having a conversation about that. And if she had just politely said, "Hey, can you not film me, please?" or something, I'd have been "Oh, sorry. I'll delete that immediately." And of course, I haven't even reviewed the footage. And in fact, okay, there's no film in this. So yeah, there was nothing filming anyway. So, but at some point I had my cell phone, which I'm using now. It's actually kind of cool. I had my cell phone up to this, and so I could kind of see the footage through this. And I just wanted to do that so I could review the footage and see if I was getting the focus right. And I don't know, I was just excited. I wanted to be able to look at some of this stuff again, even though I'm not that isn't the proper way to use this, obviously. So I don't even know if I had the camera up, but I don't even think I had it. I don't even think I was doing that in this moment. I think I was just looking through it, having some fun. And I heard this voice kind of criticizing me. And it got me thinking, is she right to an extent? To what extent am I in the right to be testing my new camera and having fun? Or even if I wasn't just testing, if I was shooting a video that's going to be on YouTube, because that's usually what I'm doing. It's just funny that I've done that literally, it's probably 1,000 times where I've been on the streets filming in Montreal and so many other cities. Very, very, very rarely have I ever been in that situation. In fact, I only remember one, maybe it's happened more, but only one time actually comes to mind before today. And that was in Vancouver way back in 2016 when I was really new to this stuff. and I was in the downtown east side, which is an area with a lot of drug addiction. And again, I was on one side of the street and I was filming some buildings, and this dude who was obviously on like methamphetamines or something, because the way he reacted was super weird energy. He like got in my face, like, "What are you doing filming me, man? What are you doing filming me?" And I was just like, "Okay, I'll delete it. Sorry, man. I was the buildings." And then, but like, I was like, "Please don't stab me," because you never know with that kind of energy. So that was a bad moment in my early days. This one wasn't like that, but it was just like, it was just weird to be criticized in that way, because I was having such an exciting moment. I was like, oh, I got my new camera, like feeling like a boss. And then I wouldn't say it spoiled the day, but I am here later today making a video about this. So it definitely stuck with me, because listen, I make videos around the cities that I travel to, and more frequently I have people in those videos. Like I do interviews. I don't get consent forms from every single person, which as the channel continues to grow, there might reach a point where I have to do that. But so far I just go by like, I explain, this is a YouTube video project. If people want to know more, I tell them all about the channel. They can look it up. I can look it up for them. I can and on the rare occasion, like once or twice, someone has later decided, hey, like, actually, I don't feel comfortable being in this video, or like, no questions asked. I always say like, sure, like I'll cut that out. No problem. Which I think some people wouldn't do that. I think some people would be more like, this is my content, bro. Like, you can't just say no after you said yes. But like, I'm not, I'm not out here to make anyone look bad or to embarrass anyone. That's, everyone has their moral stance on these things. In fact, some street photographers like are so, I don't know, like kind of so blinded to how other people feel. Like I've seen this discussion in comment sections on the internet before, and some people are like, anywhere in public is public space, and you walk in front of my camera, that's your problem. Like I'm, and I get it, like from a legal perspective, like you could be right, but just from a human perspective, if someone doesn't want to be filmed, like I'm cool with that. I think people deserve their privacy. And yeah, these days with like all the YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff, it's like there's more cameras around than ever before. Now, if I had just been holding my cell phone, she never would have said that. Cause I don't know, I don't know. Like then it's like, maybe I'm talking to the phone, or maybe I'm just taking a photo. It's just like, I think the visual of this, I don't know. This is a big boy. It might just scare some people seeing this pointed in their direction. But again, there was no tape. It's kind of ironic that I've like filmed with my normal camera so many times and no one has a problem. And then when I actually have no tape in the camera, someone gets upset. But I kind of play that situation back in my mind. Like if she had stopped, and by the way, just to like make it more clear, I was filming Montreal. I was filming the buildings and everything. Her biking, like maybe I did see, oh, there's a bike coming, like that's kind of cool, a person biking past, but like that's just because I like movement. A city is its people. If people are walking, if people are biking, if someone's throwing a frisbee, it's like, oh, that's a nice movement, because you're doing like visual poetry. That's what filmmaking is, and movement is cool. So you could say I'm filming you. I say, listen, I'm filming Montreal. You happen to be in the shot. But there is a gray area. Like if someone's like 10 feet away, 20 feet away, 30 feet away, like when does it become they're now part of the background instead of like part of their personal space? And it's a gray area. Like there are moments where I'm like, oh, like is that person too close to my shot? And like I consider these things. Which is why I kind of wish he had stopped, so I could actually like show like, hey, first of all, yeah, I'll not use the footage. Like, sorry if I offended you in any way by being here, but also like, what is it exactly that you decided to criticize me for? Like, do I not have the right to stand on a street corner and film that street corner because a bike could ever pass by? Because like if you watch the news, they do that all the time. There's like B-roll of people walking. There's B-roll shots of like street corners where something noteworthy happened. Like that's a pretty established thing that exists. And so I guess some people don't like it. I guess some people want to live in a world without cameras, but I'm sorry to say you were born in the wrong century. Again, I mean, I say that again, I have sympathy. I understand the point of view, but if someone is watching this and they're also like thinking about this dilemma, from my perspective, just it all comes down to respect. Like I have a strong distaste for people who are like, yeah, like prank shows that are just grabbing someone randomly off the street and like making fun of them, like that stuff. Yeah, that's probably why people are like self-conscious about cameras now, because there are some people kind of ruining it for everyone. But if you're just filming the streets, I mean, like I literally, if her perspective is right, I literally can't do my job anymore. Like I literally couldn't film anywhere, and then I can't do travel videos. No one can. So that's a pretty high price to pay to try and please everyone. And then I remember the German filmmaker Werner Herzog, who was like a legendary documentary filmmaker, who was basically like, he's like, yeah, like a filmmaker must break rules and never ask permission and like just apologize if you get caught. He was basically like, just push your boundaries as far as you can, and then every once in a while someone will be upset and just like apologize, I guess. And that might sound like a jerk way of doing it, but honestly, I see the logic. It's certainly true if you're trying to like film events. Like if I'm trying to make a video about Montreal and I want to get some footage of like the jazz festival or something like that, I could ask the security guard at the door, like, hey, what's your policy on filming? And they'll be like, I don't know. You got to talk to the head chief of security who's like in some, and then you stand around waiting for 2 hours. And then like, finally, they probably just say no. Or if they let you walk past with your camera and they think you're just taking photos and you're like, well, I'm just going to take some video shots. Cause like, that's, you know, like sometimes you just do it. Sometimes you just do it. And again, you try to be respectful and you try to like, you just try to be respectful. And if someone doesn't want to be filmed, there's no reason to argue about it. Like, honestly, yeah, there's no reason. There's days where like, you know, there's days where I'm walking to get the groceries or whatever, and I just woke up and my hair's a mess and I don't feel like being in some random person. Well, technically my hair's always a mess, but the point is like, you're not always in the mental state where you want to be filmed for any reason. So I sympathize with people who want to be kept off camera, while also recognizing that, you know, everyone needs to live their life and you can't always please everyone. I will fight for my right to stand in Montreal and use my new toy and film stuff. I'm not giving that right up. I think that's just part of like being in a free country. What are you going to tell people who are painting in a park? Oh, you can't paint that because I could be walking across your painting. You're going to tell people who are playing guitar on the street corner, you know, I didn't consent to hearing those melodies, okay? I don't know, it's just, you see what I mean, right? You take the logic far enough, it's like, okay. It's like, do you just not want anyone doing anything around you that you haven't consented to? Because I hate to break it to you, but part of living in a society is other people are gonna be doing other things. Yeah. But let me know your thoughts. I'm open to being corrected. It's part of the reason I'm making this video. I want to know how people feel about this. And I don't want to be making people uncomfortable, especially as my channel grows, as my audience grows. I want to be doing this the right thing. I want to be doing this the right way. So if I'm doing it the wrong way, let me know. And if you think I got to move on and just say, hey, you know what? 2 people complaining in 7 years is not so bad, then yeah, I'm just going to move on and think that way. Hope everyone has a great day, and I will catch you next time. Peace.